All right, and we are live. So thank you so much for your patience, ladies, and greetings to everyone. So welcome, a warm welcome to you from Cogent Integrated Business Solutions and from the LetUsTalkIt team being here, joining the a special session to be offered to great women's who are out there and making breaking a leg and making achievements like anyone else. So today we are gathered here on the occasion of Women's Day for 2023. So to celebrate all the women who are leading, inspiring, challenging norms, and driving. So the theme for International Women's Day for this year is Embrace Equity. So it is an initiative to make the world set up and notice that talking about equality is no longer enough. So historically, uh, this day has given an opportunity to honor the courage of the women who changed history and also for those who are continuing to do so. So today is our chance to move forward and embrace equality. The journey to female empowerment demands equity. It demands recognition that everyone has their own unique circumstance and needs to be supported and given the resources they need to reach their privileges and goals. So here at Cogent, we believe in embracing equity for all, regardless of age, gender, race, or religion. So not just today, we respect and appreciate the women we work with, and we do our best to support them in all phases of life. In doing so, we are breaking the gender bias and supporting them in their unique and personal goals. So we have much to celebrate at Cogent this Women's Day. So with so many talented women working in our organizations, we can forge women's equality and collectively we can all embrace equality. So here with us, we have number of powerful women in their respective fields who've been successful and continuing to do so and driving and inspiring other women as well. So we have here Jigna Shah, the CEO of Reeve, and we have Bhavisha, who is a founder, Root Skills and Root Saps. We have Kamala, who is a founder and CEO of Upahara. And we have Anuja Bashir, CEO, Aurea, CMO of FlexCloud. We have Urvisha, founder and CEO of Pitch Books. We have Ifat Khan, founder, Femipreneur, Break Free or Business Coach as well. And to be with us in a later time is Lieutenant Commander Meenakshi Pandey, and who is a retired Indian Navy and a nature versatilist. And we have Micah Hill, founder from San Francisco of International Women Entrepreneurs Forum. And here with us, we have Akanksha Dulal, Director of Marketing and Business Development of eLive High Tech. We have also Sirisha, who is the CEO of InnovoSense, which will be joining on a later hour as well. So we will be having a question and answer as a panel type of session for this matter. So we will hear the perceptions, the point of views, and insights of this powerful women that we have today. So for the first question, we would like to know, how can we empower women in the workplace to bridge the gender gap and promote gender equality? So from that question, I'd like one of our guests or multiple number of our guests would like to raise their hand. And before they would provide their insight, they can have a little introduction of themselves and what they do on their respective field. Yes, we have Urvisha, first acknowledged.
Yeah. Hi, this is Urvisha, and I'm the founder of Pitchworks, a company which is based out of Mumbai. We work with a lot of startups globally to help them create all kinds of collaterals like pitch decks, business plans, etc., and also handhold them in connecting with investors. I'm also the national president of Wiki Startup Council, which is Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, where we do a lot of mentorship for especially women founders. So, Phil, to answer your question, I believe that it's important to have, to create a fair compensation and promotion procedures at workplaces. Building an inclusive company culture is very, very important, where, there are also flexibility for women employees, workers, founders, etc. Supporting women into more senior roles and positions is extremely important to bridge the gender gap. And I think it's the leadership training, skilling of certain traits, certain qualities is something which can really help women to, sort of scale their businesses and grow. So some of these that I highlighted could definitely help in bridging the gap in the equality.
Thank you so much for that wonderful and brief insight answer to that question. And next to that, we have Ifat.
Hi, Phil. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? So happy Women's Day to each one of you, to all the women. So yeah, my name is Ifat Khan, and thank you so much for asking that question, Phil. So to answer that question, first of all, I'm just going to give an introduction, like maybe 5 seconds. So my name is Ifat, and I am an author, a coach, and I love to work with women. So I've been working with women across the globe, and I work to help them with their mindset, help them grow in their businesses, help them, start their online business, and also help them with their branding, which is their personal branding. So that's what basically I work on. And at the same time, I am a TEDx speaker as well. So I've got an opportunity to serve and to be able to impact people in 10 different countries across the globe. So I've been able to work with 100,000 people so far, which I'm so grateful about. And my mission is to empower, maybe millions and millions of women and people across. So that's why I'm here for. And with regards to your question, so I believe basically, first of all, Urvisha, she actually mentioned a lot. Like actually, she mentioned most of the points which are really, really important. However, I feel, when it comes to women and personally in my journey, so I started out, it's like I'm from India. Currently, I'm based out of South Africa. So in Cape Town. So, personally, my journey, how it's been, and I really, really faced a lot of challenges because with this gender inequality. So when I started out, got into my first job, I started working in a bank, and I faced gender inequality there, where preferences were given more to, men over women. Even when it came to promotions, then I worked for major IT companies. I had a corporate career of about 7 years. Then I got into doing business. When I started, doing business, I faced challenges there itself. What I personally feel and believe, throughout my journey, what's been like is that we don't get much support. Like we don't have people or even mentors or, like somebody or, the group of people who would actually go push women. They would always, I'm not being like, biased, but that's how my personal experience has been like. And that's what made me start a company called Femipreneur, where I wanted to work with women and help them, coach them and mentor them. So, women aren't being pushed forward. Like if there's a man and a woman, they would actually push women first, then they would, the man first, then they would give the preference to the woman. So it's just something I think, so it's been in us, and it's not just the man that does it, it's women also that do it. So if you see in corporate also, I can remember facing an interview for a senior manager, and I went up for the interview, and I went till the last round. There was a man in there, and I was the two of us. And they give me a reason, oh, you're overqualified, so we can't really take you. And he gets the position. So I was so furious. And there were so many reasons why I actually quit corporate. So my mission since then became, I'm going to make people quit corporate, especially women, and start their own businesses. So I feel that's quite important. That's just a little bit from my end. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that lovely answer with a story. All right. As a okay.
You're welcome.
So next to that, we have Anuja to share her part.
Okay, I just want to tell Ifit that, I kind of like resonated every single point she said. Urvisha is my friend, so even I saw her smiling, like, it's kind of like a woman thing. So, like she said, see, we're not talking about bringing in women who don't have any skills or talent, and then we are asking them, oh, please give an opportunity and remove the intelligent man out of the system. That is not what women empowerment is. Like she said, it's an opportunity that needs to be given to everyone, irrespective of gender, or it is like specifically the word. Let's break the bias. Let's bring in everyone, and whoever is talented, let them prove it. But like she said, the question is all about when there is an opportunity, the first preference is to a man, and specifically when a woman is successful, then the problem is with the entire ecosystem. Like she said, it's not man alone. You can't blame man. It is the entire society which is comprised of both men and women. Because men, because of their ego, sometimes can't take women. Women, just because of the reason she can't let other women go in, go in front. This is specifically, this happens mostly in India because I work with global platforms. So I have seen the difference. So when Ifat said it, I think it's kind of like, we all could resonate why exactly she said that. Because even when I worked in corporates, I faced the same thing, irrespective of however you put across. But it's again like, you sit where you are supposed to sit. You don't speak unless you're set to speak. And now
That
I'm
is
a
very
serial
true,
entrepreneur.
Anuja.
Yeah. I'm a failed startup twice. And then today I have 4 companies. I'm a 40 under 40 awardee. I'm a mentor to 25 incubators in India. I am featured in Forbes Entrepreneur India. I don't know what else I'm not featured. I've been a speaker, multiple TEDx speaker, multiple Joe speaker. But even now, like if it's said, if there is an opportunity, when there is a man who might be less talented than me, of course the choice goes to them because they don't want women to see in that position, because that is something kind of terrifying with the entire society. I don't know why he said that, but that is a fact. Why I'm telling all this thing is that these are realities which we need to acknowledge, accept, because there's a Women's Day where we celebrate it as called March 8th. And when we honor every woman, we put, even I have at least 10 features this day coming in, including times. But my point is only this particular day reserved for us where we talk about every super women, and the rest of the days, these super women are kind of nowhere in the map of the world, because that is the only day reserved for you. So my point is, again and again, it is not that one day is we celebrate Women's Day with the intention that women across the globe, because if you take the global percentage of the total workforce, it's only 20. Research says that it's only 28%. Where are the rest? So the question is that unless there is an opportunity there, and even an opportunity is given, most of the time, like she just mentioned, you're overqualified. So overqualified means what? Just because of the reason she has talent, but a person less talented, they prefer her because she has more talent. She might, probably there is a chance she might question. Probably there is a chance that, she might question the entire system where things might go wrong. So always people want dependent system instead of being independent, because independence and freedom is again path to growth. So according to me, women empowerment starts from 2 main elements, because Urvisha said most of the things. If it said the reality, so I just only can add few things. Like, I think you need to give the women the independence, because it's not like, you need to give them, it is already in them. It must not be blocked. One. And I don't think women need to be empowered. They're already empowered because of the situation around them. the struggle has made them so powerful. I think everyone is empowered. It's again, like I said, give them their space. They'll do everything in their best because they're multitaskers. They have patience, they have perseverance and passion too much. It's just, I would say that don't demotivate. Again, demotivation is something against empowerment. So I think that is also something which our entire society needs to take, that even, and second, and one more thing I would add is that respect. Respect is a huge element. Even if you cannot take the person or whatever it is, but it needs to be conveyed in a very polite, dignified manner, even to a woman. Because women doesn't get that. When it comes to respect, I don't know where does it go. This is not something what if it said, because I was not about to say all these points, but the moment she said it, I could resonate every single point. Then I changed the entire conversation from what I was thinking to say and what I'm trying to tell now. So again, my point is respect. A, B, give them their independence. Don't break it. And one more thing, don't judge them. No matter what, if they're successful, they're failure, they'll pick it up. They know how to pick it up. So I think you give them this and make a ecosystem more work friendly. We are not saying women friendly, just a positive or a work ambience which is positive to all individuals, whether it be man, women, even LGBT. The question is that if you do that, I think already the major hurdles in the ecosystem is totally eliminated. The rest, I think in itself, it will take place. Yeah, that's my take.
That's really a wonderful take. Thank you so much, Anuja, for that.
Sorry, I didn't introduce myself because it was so much in involvement. I forgot who I am to introduce. I went directly to the topic. So I'm Anuja Bashir. I am the CEO of Oria. I am the CMO of Flexi Cloud. So Oria is a branding and IT company where we help startups, SMEs, MSMEs, and organizations to position their organization in a competitive market. And Flexi Cloud is a managed cloud hosting solution, which again helps SMEs, startups, and organizations to onboard on cloud by making cloud complexity simple to them by our entire team who's managing it and helping them out. So as we say with Flexi Cloud, cloud is never a hurdle. And besides that, I'm also a startup mentor to 25 incubators. I'm a diversity evangelist too. So that is the reason why when you gave me that topic, I myself could not stop, because I really do a lot of things for, supporting diversity. And since me being a woman, I always love to, help fellow women. And like she said, I'm doing an initiative called NEED, Nurturing, Enhancing, Empowering. The exclusive agenda is to support the diversity. Like if it said the similar, I would use the same sentence. My ultimate aim is to bring in all the women and tell them, no, it's perfectly okay, because our clan still exists here, and irrespective of how much ever we are degraded or sabotaged, we will come up, because we are the success of the great granny called the Eve.
Yes,
Hi everyone. This is Bhavisha this side, and currently I am in Pune, and my work is in NCR as well as in Gujarat. I am a founder of Root Skills. We are into multiple skills development, traditional as well as non-traditional skills. So I believe that woman has equal opportunity. They are empowered and they have a pleasant atmosphere at workplace or at home, everywhere. If they grab the opportunities given to her, if they take part in decision making, and if they especially take part in their financial decision making at home as well as in office, both. So that's all I want to say.
Thank you so much, Bhavisha. So hold on. We have Thank you. Before I proceed to the next question, I'd like to acknowledge. So we have Micah here, one of the guests. that we have invited for the Women's Day. So she just joined in, and also we have my mentor, who is a great woman as well, who is joined. Who has joined. We have Julan. So you can unmute quickly, Julan, to talk to those lovely women that we have here.
Thank you, Phil. And I'm like filled with joy today to see so many women. The Zipinar is full, and absolutely congratulations to you. You have been doing an awesome job. So a woman needs a man, and Phil has taken that part as to carry forward the Zipinar, the meeting, getting contact with the speakers. I mean, amazing job, and this defines that how the gender equality is so important, and this can be an example. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Srini, for inviting.
Thank you so much, Julan. So Julan was doing this first before me. So a woman did this Zipiners for Cogen
Yeah,
first.
last time I did with Jilan, I remember.
Yeah. So okay, I'll quickly
Hi,
say
Jilan, how are
hi.
you?
I am great. Thank you so much for joining in. I can see all new and old ones, everybody joining in, being happy. So this is the best way to celebrate a Women's Day. Nothing better than this. Nice to see everyone.
Thank you so much, Julan. So let's move to the next question for the next batch of women who will take their parts on with regard to the to this area. So what are some of the biggest challenges facing women in developing countries, and how can we work towards their empowerment? So yeah, anyone would like to? Okay, we have Kamala. Yes.
Hi, thank you very much for inviting me for this Women's Day. As a woman in STEM advocate, it gives a great pleasure for me to be participate in today addressing all the women across the globe who are watching. And happy International Women's Day to all of you and all the women allies as well. Quick introduction. I'm Kamala Srinivasan, based in California, USA. I'm a founder and CEO of Upahara. Upahara aims to make philanthropic donations easier, more transparent, and trustworthy. It connects donors to synergic organization and delivers curated, analytic-backed philanthropic solution. Basically, we are modernizing the world of philanthropy, so making a great impact across the globe. As all of you mentioned before, I am a coach and also a woman in STEM advocate, advocating women, younger girls studying in the STEM education across the globe. So with that, moving on to answer your question, it's a really great question, right? So to me, the biggest challenge facing women in developing countries, basically, right? The gender gaps are systematically larger in developing countries. The root cause are societal norms and pressure. In developing countries, women have less access to education and healthcare, and then lack of financial literacy. And they are underrepresented in the decision-making process at all levels. They are not included, whether at the household or at the institution or in the politics, they are not there, right? There are a lot of advancement made towards gender equality in the last decade, which is really appreciated, but it's kind of a small drop in the ocean, right? However, those efforts has to be continued to make further improvements. The empowerment of women and encourage them to participate in economic development and create policies for their growth would help us to move the needle further. And I'll let others to add more points to this. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. For giving your take on that. That's really wonderful. And what your company is working is also really great. It's very acknowledgeable. Thank you. And yeah, we have next to that to take to give her part is Akanksha.
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Akanksha I am leading the marketing and business development for eLive High Tech, which is an MNC into the healthcare ecosystem, basically. Alongside that, I have been working with UN Escape for women empowerment, and I have been a supporter for SDG 3, 5, and 17. So, as I agree with Kamla, that there is a lot of scope that needs to be covered when we talk specifically about the developing countries. I also believe that, as I think so, Ms. Bushra said, that only 28% of women are the working women, which is a very drastic number that needs to be improved in a very short duration, specifically talking about the developing countries. So to cater to that, not only we need to have our take on the education and skilling up of women, but we do need to go ahead and focus on certain policies and have a multi-stakeholder approach and design some more or less like care economy packages that focus on the that focus basically on providing an economic outgrowth, or if I can say an multiple economic opportunities that can help women to be a little less under the financial strain and focus on what they're looking for and pave their way from there. So that's my take.
Thank you. That's really wonderful. And next was Bhavisha. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. According to me, in a developing country, the problem is that as just recently I listened that only 20% women are working, right? But I think 100% women are working day and night, but we consider that only 20% women are working. So that's the problem in a developing country, because either they are working at home, either they are working in office, but somewhere they are working, right? So that's the problem, I think, in developing country. We don't consider the household work as a work. So because if someone is working at home, then only other partner is working outside the home. So we need to change here our belief that only 20% women are working. Yeah, regarding the payment and all, yes, I think women need to think whether they want, as a reward, they want family life, respect, money, or what is her priority. That need to check in a developing country. Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Okay, I have one question, Phil.
Yes.
So one very important factor is that are the men listening? Right here in the webinar, I mean in the Zipinar, and also in the household, like in each and every house. So when when the men listen, I think a lot changes. So I hope the men in this Zipinar are listening. And why I say that, with what I feel personally, and I've just intruded myself just because I have to leave quickly. But one thing is that whatever we do outside, it begins at home, because home is always very close to our heart. So one compliment or one word of motivation from the home, be it our parents, be it our husband, children, it motivates us a lot to go out and face, to do that extra mile and empower us inside. So that's my take on that. And make sure all the men here are listening. And yes, men needs to listen and think that, okay, the women still are not that educated, or they cannot take those financial decisions. So that has to change too.
Yes, we are listening, children. Sometimes we are only listen, actually. That is only option we have. There is no other button.
What is it? Sorry, I missed it.
Sometimes we only listen, I'm saying.
Julian, no, I told you what to do after listening too.
Good job.
I mean, what he said was true. They always listen, but the question is about implementation. Of course,
Yeah,
they listen.
that will come slowly, but yeah, I mean, listen and act, because it's just not let us talk it, but do it as well. So I hope that is taken care of.
Again, it's not about
Excellent
only
point,
men.
Julian.
It's
Thank
not
you.
only Julian. It's not only about men. It's a. I think it's a society as such. I mean, you can't say that men are not supporting. I know 100 men who really encourage women. Even they are kind of they promote feminism. So it's basically
No,
the
I
society.
agree to that. Actually, Anuja, I mean, thanks for sharing that. And
No,
Julian,
I
wonderful.
did
Yeah,
say
wonderfully put.
parents and children, and it involves all
Yeah.
genders. There is nothing like gender equality for me. Like, if you can show your work, if you are confident, I mean, nobody or everybody would want you, but how would you develop yourself? That is where I was thinking that it's not a lot of money, but that self-confidence within is who can give you, even your children, when they compliment you after, you have been having a hard time with them for the whole evening, you feel that your day is made, you're a much stronger person. So yeah.
I totally
But
agree to that. That's actually an excellent point. And I feel that is sometimes missing from the family or the background that we actually come from, especially from the family. And if you see, I mean, there's a little bit of a push, maybe from your parents or from your siblings or your partner, your spouse, and you actually do better. And I've seen so many women actually when they have that support, they do so good, they do so well. And I personally have gone through this challenge as well, where I didn't find really much support. And then when I work with women and I see, you know what, oh, my husband is actually supporting me. With God's grace, my husband is amazing. So he, really encourages me and supports me and my family also. But I have to prove myself that, okay, you know what, I can do it. Or you know what, I can do this. And that's when they'll be like, okay, fine, you know what, you go ahead. But until and unless you don't prove yourself, and until and unless you don't show, you know what, I can do it, then it doesn't really work. And so what's basically happening is that women do not have that internal motivation or drive to be able to say, you know what, or determination, because they don't have the support initially. Like, you know what, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to do it. Why? Because I don't have any support. And then they sit back thinking that nobody supports me. And then they don't have the courage, because it's just like, how will I do it? How will I do it? And the moment you get that support, it's like, boom. I mean, sky is the limit. So that's brilliant.
And the way a woman can support a woman is just unending. That is also very true. I mean, you can do wonders when a woman understands a woman and then supports, because they are the ones who, carry you down more than the men. So that is also a part.
Totally.
I think that's very well put, Julian and Ifat. In fact, I was just thinking that we are at least fortunate being in urban areas. We at least have that opportunity to talk on such webinars, voice our opinions, get the benefit of the entire group of women around us. But imagine that one of the biggest challenges in the developing countries that we were talking about, when we go back to rural areas and the district levels and the talukas, imagine if we went through this in our promotional careers and those kind of things, because similar to you, even I faced that. What would be the issues and the circumstances that the rural population is facing? In fact, those are the women who are doing such wonderful job, but either because of poor funding prospects, that is just one part of it, but there are so many other social circumstances and issues that they are facing. Here, in fact, since our topic today was in terms of technology, digital innovation and technology for gender equality, so if I may put that, there is so much limited knowledge in terms of technology which we as women need to bring to those who lack those facilities, so that they are more empowered today.
Absolutely. Yeah, very true. But guys, I have to leave. But thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, Srini. Thank you, Phil. And I mean, for all of us, happy Women's Day. You continue. I mean, all of the little that I heard, everyone. You're so talented. And the great thing which inspires me is another woman. So absolute pleasure to have you all in this Zipinar. And we'll see you soon. We'll talk soon. Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Jilan.
Bye.
Thank you all.
All right. So we have Micah also to take our partner in that question.
Hi, Phil. Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry that I was late, but as you can imagine, March 8th is a little bit complicated. But I'm super excited to be here and meeting all of these amazing women. When you sent me actually all the women that were going to be here on this webinar, speaking as well and answering questions from the community, I was super excited. Phil, thank you so much for inviting me. And just a quick summary of who I am and what do I do, because you're seeing many logos probably behind me. I'm not only the founder of the San Francisco International Women Entrepreneurs Forum, but I'm also the co-founder of Heroica. And Heroica is a digital platform that connects women-led projects and businesses with global networks and talent. What is the purpose of this? To make our projects and our businesses more sustainable. As you all well know, only 6.2% of the business led by women worldwide are able to pass the mark of 3.5 years. And we need to change that. So that's why it's super important to have these events and actually start opening all these conversations. I was taking notes, and I think that Kamala was mentioning earlier, what do we need in a certain way, or what are the things or challenges that we face? Phil, the list is so long that if I had to cut the list for Santa, it wouldn't help, you know? So I'm gonna try to be a little bit more effective. And one of the things that I have seen in the past 2 years, because one of the initiatives that we launched through Heroica is the Woman Impact Summit. And this has become a global conference after the pandemic, where women from underrepresented communities around the world go to present not only their businesses, but also their initiatives. And we try to connect them with different partners, resources, and actually even resources that are coming from governments and corporations. So I want to invite all of you as well to come this year. And I'm already looking at all of you as possible speakers. So for sure, I will get back to all of you. I have you on my radar. So one of the things that we have seen, as I was mentioning earlier, is the lack of access to the right social capital. And what I mean by social capital, I'm talking about the right networks and the right people that can actually help you make the right connections so you can grow, so you can actually scale, and you can have access at least to that first step that is gonna make you start that business or make that partnership that could make you open other leads. We did that during the summit, of course. Another thing, of course, that we have seen is also the lack of access to funding. We see that all worldwide. But as we see also lately, there are two major things that Kamala actually mentioned. One is access to healthcare and education. Because as women, it seems that we have to continue educating everyone about our needs and why we need certain things related to healthcare, so we're able to, you know, perform our job or to do other things. Because sometimes society forgets that we're not only entrepreneurs, we're also mothers, we're sisters, we're wives, and, you know, we tend to put almost everything up from our families on our shoulders. So let's think and share with everyone for a second, you know, the new design thinking. You know, when you get into an office, you see that the offices are mainly, you know, have been designed for men, you know. When I get into an office, I don't see a section where, you know, I can breast bump, if I have a kid, or I don't see a nursery where maybe I can leave my little one while I'm working and go downstairs and check on them, simple things that other people, they prefer maybe to put an Xbox, on certain corners instead of having these minimal things. I think that it's important that we bring this also, because it's super important to make a women feel that they are inclusive in the workspace and also with the peers. And that's key. I've seen it in many places, but in underdeveloped or maybe underrepresented communities around the world, what I'm seeing is that digital inclusivity is not working for all of us. And we need to bring digital inclusivity to all the women. And that's one of the main reasons why we decided to create Heroic and start partnering with global organizations and try to educate more. I mean, the current platforms that we have as women to give visibility to our businesses, sometimes we feel bullied, sometimes they do not represent us as the work that we really want to do and how we want to focus. So that's why we decided to create something different. And not only that, we wanted to learn from all of you, because this is a conversation that we need to have both ways, not only around women, both of us, among us, but also externally with the rest of the world. Because if we are not even on the same page, how we're able actually to transmit what we really need to the rest of the world. So I'm going to be quiet now, and I can't wait to contact with all of you and connect with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Micah, for giving your report. Yes, any other would like to continue? Yes.
Wonderful, it was beautiful. It's like, you really brought it up. You talked about specific. Even Santa cannot.
Your audio is distorted a little, Anuja. Sorry to cut you off.
One second. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes. Right now. Yes.
Yeah. Micah, I would say that, you beautifully put it. I was like, oh my God. Like what she said was so right. Even Santa cannot fill it because the needs are, it's not actually we're greedy or kind of we're putting a list that is kind of, which is not feasible. It is a basic requirements. Like she said, the basic requirements. The basic requirements are not met. And it is like, the needs which a woman have is completely different from that of a man. Suppose imagine a woman working in an office. I mean, she's getting periods. What will she do? So I know offices which are kind of like, there's no other choice than them taking an off. So like she rightly mentioned, we need to create an ecosystem which is women friendly, a space where, some of their basic needs are met. I'm not talking about the luxury, the basic needs. And like Urvashi just mentioned, I totally agree with that fact, because today I had a UN Women speaking session for the same International Women's Day. So during that session, I met a lot of women who are coming from rural, and I mean, while speaking to them, you understand that, even though we are so much empowered in the startup ecosystem, business ecosystem, whatnot, but they are still the same. We're talking about digital empowerment. We're talking, the theme is all about, digitally innovate, whatnot. But implementation-wise, are we reaching anywhere near? And the ecosystems, talking about the ecosystems, are the ecosystem doing the right thing? I really don't think, not even 10% they're doing. It's all becoming that, it's a kind of exhibition they're showing. Yeah, they're doing a lot of things for women, diversity, inclusion, all big jargons. But the fact is that they're not really doing it. Why? See, I'm directly getting a feed from, because of my, few hours before I gave a session, and I happened to meet these women. That is the reason why I'm giving a live feedback, because I really feel that ecosystem needs to do more, much more. because these women are doing a lot of things, because these people were teaching in small schools where I mean they're educating some kindergarten and primary school, but the basic needs are not met. They don't get enough money, I mean, to sustain their family, but still they're helping to empower those kids because they love their job. So what are we supposed to do? We are in the most digital era. How do we empower them? It's again a question which every ecosystem, irrespective of any part of the globe, we really need to come up with something. And I really think every ecosystems, be it incubators, accelerators, organizations, if everybody could bring up one solution each, together this problem can be eliminated and Santa doesn't need to come. And Maika, I really want to connect with you because I really resonate with everything you said. So hopefully we could connect. Yeah, that's from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies. And Jigna, you'd like to share your thoughts? You're on mute.
Okay.
Yeah, while we are waiting for her audio, let's acknowledge Sirisha, who just came in. Thank you so much for joining.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I've been listening, and I think fantastic topics and fantastic discussion. I guess Anuja had just mentioned, I would rather say, the change needs to come within the women community more than blaming others, blaming anybody out there. I would say, every one of us, the women community, should start helping each other. Yes, I know there are a million topics on funds, resources, networks, everything that the outside world or the typical men-driven world needs to do for women. More than that, I would say we women has to be the catalyst. We should be the creators. Believe in ourselves. I mean, don't expect that there is something out there to change things, change world for us. We ourselves have to become the catalyst. The belief within changes a lot of things, right? Just to introduce myself, I'm Sirisha Adimatyam, and I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Innovasense. We are into AI-powered sweat wearables. Really pleased to be part of this gathering here. I'm really blessed to be born in this era where there are a lot of resources, a lot of support, no matter what we say, no matter, we're talking about a million things that are not working in favor of us. But at the same time, the tipping scale is, there are enough resources, enough people, enough ecosystem, which is also supporting women. So why don't we turn the focus over to those things and, think positively and try to become a group for ourselves and try to, identify the areas where we can help each other in a positive manner, rather than waiting for the system or things to change. They will take their own course. If we look at it from that perspective, we're seeing that every government has introduced rules and regulations and policies for women empowerment at country level, at state level. Take US, take Europe, take other countries. All of them have put the reforms in place. But what lacks sometimes, this is just my opinion. I'm not talking for everybody else out here. I think the self-belief, the self-worth in a specific woman, which is actually, making them stay away from a lot of opportunities, right? I think that's where we have to throw the light, and that's where we need to give the support to all the women in terms of the required amount of personality development that they need, right? If they want to become women founders, they want to start the companies, they want to, pursue a certain education. I think we need to create a common ground where they can speak out and they can come and address these issues. And then, anybody who's sitting in positions who's connected to UN, who's sitting in prominent positions, I think, those guys, those women should be the voice for such, all the women sitting in the backward countries, backward places, to bring them on board, to support them, give them the helping hands, and then take them further. This is my take on this. This is a comment which I wanted to make. And then yeah, I mean, over to you guys. I mean, just a quick thought I wanted to share.
Thank you so much, Sarisha. And yeah, as Ifat will be leaving us now because of her schedule, but definitely it was lovely to have you.
Thank you so much, Phil. Really appreciate this, and I totally and absolutely love meeting each one of you. It was so amazing. So thank you so much, and wish you all the best and lots of success. Yeah, keep growing and keep breaking the barriers, and look forward to connecting with each one of you. Take care and much love. See ya. Bye bye.
Thank you, Ifat, for gracing us your presence. And I believe Jigna is all good with the audio.
Hi, Phil. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Am I
definitely we can
audible?
hear you now. Yes.
Hi, it was great. Hi, lovely ladies. Wishing you all a happy International Women's Day. A big hi from me. So, a small introduction about me. I'm Jigna Shah from India. We're one of the top 5 labels of India, awarded by a lot of international communities, featured by international medias also. Okay, about the small thing, how a woman can support other women. About my field, I would like to share a few experiences with you. And I feel if it starts from a small step by every woman, of course, it is said jealousy is the very basic nature of women. Of course, women are the biggest enemies of women and all the old proverbs, what we've heard. Maybe in a small way, we can say like, okay, a woman is looking beautiful, more beautiful than other women for dressing, for hairdo, for something. Maybe the skin is glowing. The other women usually cannot take it. That's a very societal norm what we have seen. So that's about the jealousy factor. But if we make an effort to come out of it and start supporting each other in small ways, like okay, I too support a lot of artisans communities, which is like women, especially women artisans in rural areas. What other panelists said, and that's very correctly they said, that the major population of women in rural areas, they're still not empowered. They're not really access to the digital world of the modern women in the urban areas what we are living. Easy to like the connectivity and the technology and everything, where maybe how women are taken in the rural areas, it's more like she's an object to produce a child. They're not supposed to go out and work. They're not supposed to be the primary earners of the family. If they have time, if they're free, then only they have to go out and earn money. Otherwise, the simple question is, what's the need? Man is like taking care of the financial part, which is not true. So I've empowered small communities like bootleggers community, and where women used to make liquors, the local deshi liquor, what we say, though willingly they didn't want to work, and then training them, doing some small work like stitching, embroideries and all. And we try to empower them. And today they are like the community where they've stopped their men doing making the liquor. And that was a big achievement to us, that the whole community has survived now and the women have started going out and earning. So that's how, if we can do something, maybe a small way, that would be a thing to empower women.
That's
Brilliant.
great. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your part for that, Jigna. So moving to the next question for you ladies. What are some examples of successful initiatives or policies that have helped to promote women's empowerment and gender equality? And how can we replicate and expand upon them? So, yes, we have Kamala.
Yes, thank you. Again, that's a great question too, right? There were certain successful initiatives, as I mentioned, over the decades we have been doing. I would just shortly list it so that I would allow others to pitch in as well. The list would be promoting girls' education, improving women's health, and mainly in some of the developing countries and all over the world, is combating violence against women and girls, and promoting women's political and economic leadership. We have a long way to go, right? Attracting and retaining women and girls in STEM, That's my prime fight that I have been doing it for the past 2 decades. And advancing women's political and economic empowerment and entrepreneurship, as Micah pointed out. The world leaders should remain committed to advancing gender equality and the empowerment of women and the girls as a central part of our domestic and foreign policy as we go ahead in our next steps, as part of that women leadership, International Women's Day, and then also UN Women and all of them, it has to be a central part. So those are all my pointers, and I leave it to other wonderful ladies to pitch in.
Phil, I need to take a leave. I'm actually traveling. So girls and women, amazing to meet you all. We'll definitely catch up. You can connect me over my LinkedIn. And once again, happy Women's Day. Bye. I need to leave. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anuja.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamala, for sharing your part. And Anuja, travel safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. So next to have raised their hand, who wants to add for the
Yeah, I can.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Go ahead. So I'd like to throw some light on women leadership specifically. I think a lot of organizations are encouraging women in leadership, and that needs to be embraced by everybody out there, and specifically women entrepreneurship. That changes things, that makes women the creators. Being mothers, being sisters, being daughters. They all can do wonderful things, and why not we give them the leadership roles and make them entrepreneurs, where they can become the creators, become the catalyst to change in the world and innovate things. I think that should be one of the predominant things, whether it's a specific government, specific country, specific state needs to take into account and create as many resources as possible to encourage women entrepreneurship. The lack of funding and resources is one thing that everybody struggles through to make things happen within entrepreneurship. I think the focus should be on this part where they can change things night and day, which gives them the confidence and set examples, give them inspiration, throw more examples on these on these lines. That's my take on leadership specifically and what can be done.
Thank you so much. That's a great answer. And okay, we have Micah, who will give her take on that question.
Hello, everyone. So basically, I wanna talk about something that Sirisha mentioned earlier, and I hope that I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'm sorry. My apologies if not. And it was about, you're right, there are resources. Unfortunately, those resources are not getting to the right people, to the right initiatives, to the right women, to the right organizations. We need to change that. And we need to make that friendly ecosystem take over, even if it is through legislation, education, for sure. I totally agree with you. There are resources. Unfortunately, we're not seeing them. And I'm crossing my fingers that, as I said earlier, all these conversations are very needed so we can talk about it. From the point of view of legislation, I have seen two things that have been quite interesting. There are two laws that were passed this past year in Spain regarding women's health. One is regarding is getting now penalized in Spain to bully women that are going to get an abortion. This is key. I mean, it is our choice. It is our body. Each circumstance is completely different. It's not easy to decide that you need to have an abortion. And for sure, I think that this is key as a society to make everyone be aware of it. So now any behavior about bullying women or even waiting at the clinics or, creating some kind of bullying to them is penalized in Spain. The second one that has been quite interesting is also coming from Spain. is regarding the parental leave. So if the woman takes the leave because they have a kid, now the man or the partner has by law to take it as well. And this is key because now nobody can say, oh, because you get pregnant and you're going to get the leave, I'm not going to be hiring you in the future. No, now this is going to be affecting both partners in the relationship, which I think that is key to start creating more equality. Regarding programs that I have seen out there that are creating a big impact, there's one that we have been participating lately with the State Department here in the United States that is called the AWE program or O program, the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs. And we launched it last year in Cuba, creating a big success. And yesterday, we just launched a second cohort. We are planning to launch a third and a fourth. We are going to areas where they really need help, and we're trying to bring the attention, as I said, of government institutions and all those resources that are needed. Because as someone mentioned earlier, actually, the women that are coming from underrepresented communities are the ones that are creating the biggest impact in the communities, and not only the economic development in the regions. So we need to pay attention once for all to this. Thank you.
Fantastic points. You know, I'm really with you, and I second everything you said, Micah. I think this is a change, and kudos to Spain that they've been able to bring such kind of policies. And you know, to let you know that the parental leave was always in existence in Sweden, for example. You know, they had about 600 and odd days allocated for a mother, which could be used within the first 7 years of a child, right? So that's a fantastic thing what Sweden has done. So maybe other countries should also follow the Sweden, and then they should do that, right? And underrepresented women community, I think, you know, anybody who's educated, anybody who has resources, you know, all the well-developed countries, women from well-developed countries, should actually try to do something for the underrepresented community. I mean, that's where the need is, the actual need is. I mean, we are all emerging as women entrepreneurs, engineers, employees, whatever we are trying to do. But that part of the world, you know, whichever country it is, be it Africa, now they have a lot of resources, they have a lot of reforms specific to Australian women. And women founded companies in Australia. I mean, they're a big thing now, if you look at it, right? Even EU has some very specific reforms for Australia, right? I mean, but that's not the only country. There are several others in the line who are seeking those kind of opportunities, right? So these things need to be brought in. Thank you. I second everything you said. Thanks.
Fantastic. That's a really great exchange. We have Urvisha next. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Micah, it's really great listening to you, because you are actually working at the grassroots level, and it's amazing to know those kind of things and the background, you know, coming from those areas. And especially you mentioned about the policy changes that Spain is making, I'm sure. And even Sirisha mentioned about what EU is doing in terms of different policies. Looking at these developed countries, I think the developing countries are also trying to make those changes. So I think a couple of years back, you would have never heard of India giving leaves for paternity. It used to be only maternity leaves, you know, for a couple of months. Now they have started, understanding that, yes, there needs to be equality, looking at, of course, the developed countries, and they have started giving paternity leaves to Indian men. So I think what the developing countries can really learn from the developed countries is all these policies and making them a part of their own implementation, which I think is now slowly working with the change in government. So I just wanted to add those things.
Yeah, I think India is coming along. If you look at Indian government, Urvisha, so they have introduced a lot of funding opportunities for women entrepreneurs in India. Modi government.
Yes,
Kudos. So there is so much that one can do, so much of resources. Of course, forget about the bureaucracy, which still exists. I mean, it's the sad part, but this is catching up even in India, right? I mean, they are making sea change in policies, right?
True, very true. In fact, they have set aside huge grants for every state for especially women, and
Yes.
they're making sure that they are giving these kind of grant supports. So, in fact, we being part of Wiki, we also send letter of recommendations to the finance minister every year, and we try and make sure that those are implemented in the union budget when the finance minister comes out with those. So yes, as you rightly mentioned, it is the government which really supports, be it any country. I think even if it is Africa, where maybe UN is taking more of a role, there is some government body who is helping these changes and drives.
Yes. I mean, end of the day, what's important is to make sure that these resources reach the right people. The resources are being introduced by the governments or the higher authorities. But at the end of the day, when people like you, work on these initiatives, make sure that it reaches to the right people. That's the crux of it, right? Then we are all doing justice to what's being put in place, right?
Lovely. Any additional thoughts, Jigna, Bhavisha?
Yeah, resources are plenty, and we have all the opportunities with us. But in certain areas, when we think that when we compare, usually people compare homemaker as well as a lady working in an office. So here the problem is mindset, to change the mindset, because homemakers think that I don't need to go out and work because she is needy. That's why she is working in an office. And the office lady think that I am empowered, I am educated, and so I am here in an office, and she is suffering at home. But actually, both are working and both are enjoying their status. But yes, this comparison we need to stop. Either working
stigma. Yeah,
Very true.
because we think that rural women are suffering a lot, but actually they are eating fresh food, they are more healthier, and they are enjoying, if we think that person working in office, yes, they are suffering because their kids are eating only packaged food mostly, and they don't have many time a support system at home, grandparents, and sometimes they are rearing kids alone. And the biggest problem in a developing country, when we recently address about the skills and all, so we are doing discrimination with the boys by not allowing them to come to the kitchen, and we are only empowering our girls, and they are very talented in traditional as well as non-traditional, both the skills, but men are not, right? So that's the problem. Then when it comes to choose the work, we honorary say, okay, you don't know the kitchen work, so I will do it, no problem. So here is the problem, and we need to spend and on this to change the mindset of the people. So government is again working for this. There are many counseling sessions are going on for a woman, and yes, this platform we can witness hosted by a man, I think, right? So thank you for this wonderful conversation. Yeah.
Yes, very valid inputs, from homemaker versus a working woman, and all the problems, all the societal stigma, that exists, where they say like, okay, I mean, this is converting into some economic benefit, and this is not. I think everybody is equally doing and contributing for the society, for the homes, right? So that needs to be recognized in some or the other way. Maybe there has to be some idea around that, maybe you can think of it. So
yeah, I think because both have equal opportunity.
Yeah, agree.
Thank you.
I would like to quote few examples, which is taken by the management, biggest of management books also as case studies in India, few rural women have started a business like from a very small, you can say the very penny of amount kind of a business they started, like the small snacks industry and all, which is like very prevalent in India. The ready breakfast things and all that, and they've crossed almost a $1 billion industry within say 10 years span or 20 years span. So if you see, there are few examples, if you know, in Bombay, in the city like Bombay, one is that Dabba Wala. Dabba is a tiffin services, because most of the people are eating out for the lunch and all. So this services, when a wife wants to send a tiffin and this Dabba Wala accurately reaches to the office within the time period, it's become like almost say $20 million dollar industry. So they've broken all the barriers and figures also. So we have to identify that enterprising scale, and government is doing a lot, because I'm on the central government panel lately to revive Indian craft and art. And I'm saying like government is spending a lot of money. They're hiring a lot of experts to train such grassroots level women who cannot go out and sell the products or market the products. But of course, with the fineness, women are always better with the micro level management and micro what do you call the detailing and the fineness what women can work with, like the patience what they have. Man probably, of course, again, I'm not going gender biased with this, but it's an observation, or then it's a trait which women usually have to handle things with fineness, with a lot of small detailing and all, where we can occupy a lot of women for all those, the detailed work like embroideries and stitching work and all. And man can be involved more into marketing and all that. So I think that is one thing. And again, the mindset, as I said, we need to change the mindset of men first, then the women. Of course, women have to change the perspective or the view about other women also, rather than only getting driven by how successful they are and getting jealous and all that. I think instead of that, women can be a little more supportive to other women. That is first thing. And we need to change the mindset also of men, along with all the collaboratives and support what government is trying to offer to us. Thank you.
Perfect. How to get rid of the small mindset, where people talk about women being enemies of other women. This is a pretty key topic, which is prevalent in some communities. I mean, once you grow above a certain level, above the leadership roles, we don't see this. But, under the, at the grassroots level, a little above that level, you see this mindset being prevalent, where they say like, this woman doesn't let me do this, or they don't let me do this, or she's stopping me from this, or they're jealous of me, right? I mean, these kind of issues, I think there has to be some kind of thought process around it, some kind of idea where this needs to be addressed, this topic, right? So, once this gets eradicated, the world will change within women communities. There is so much that we all can do together.
So, Shrisha, I would like to say one thing: accomplished women don't compete with other women. So when they're successful, they don't need to compete with other women for any reason. When you yourself is something within, when you are so accomplished, you don't need to fight with other women. You don't need to compete. So you empower more and more women. They would also empower. Only empowered women can empower other women. So I think that's the funda even I follow, because then you don't have any reason to compete with other women. So you grow above that that psychology, and then you start supporting, and you build a harmonious world, harmony around you. So we need to give that privilege to a lot of women. When you have broken the barrier and you have moved away from all those norms, what you say a woman usually carries, those traits or characteristics or whatever, from like the mythology also. If you hear, a lot of women were the forces for biggest of wars. You must have heard about Mahabharata, Ramayana. Everywhere the woman was the responsible factor for the war. So even till today, also what we say, of course, I'm not going negative for women also, but usually what is seen is when a woman is accomplished, she stops competing with other women, and we need to empower more and more women. For that, they stop competing, they start supporting other women.
Exactly. I think this is more of a mindset and a psychological thing which needs to come through. And of course, to make them empower, I mean, that's where we need the resources. That's where the help which comes in at the grassroots level. Then you take them to the next levels where they feel accomplished and start, building the community, start helping each other. That's the layer by layer change that we all need to work through. And this will definitely take some time. Maybe there are a lot of elite women who are already empowered. They should come forward. I think there has to be one voice to change these sort of things, right? So yeah, I mean, wonderful discussions, all great topics and great inputs. I really appreciate being part of this panel. I need to leave. I'm heading on to another meeting, but would love to connect. I'm on LinkedIn. You can type my first and last name. I'm there. So just feel free to connect. Or I'm pretty interested. Micah, I mean, with everything that you're doing, everybody's contributing to a very, very great extent. Jigna, let's connect and see what we can do something. If we can
let's make a healthy community of women, accomplished women, and then let's start supporting in a smaller way, whatever the way we can do. I'm my own way, like doing small things. I've now taken a pledge to give employment to women, more and more women, rural women instead of men. I prefer to give employment to women and then skill them. And believe me, I've seen that, my personal observation, women are sharper than men these days, especially rural women. So we are ignoring them like in the main workforce, but women can be the pillar of the workforce of any country.
Yes, women in leadership. What we are trying to do, we are bringing in more women scientists into the company. That's one way of looking at it, because EU has policies where gender equality is one of the main things, which is also part of US community, where they call shared values, bringing women onto the leadership roles. So my way of contributing is to bring in more women folks into the company, specifically all the scientists team, where they get the opportunity of being leaders and driving certain things, being product managers or whatever. So that's a little way that I'm contributing. So let's connect. Once again, happy Women's Day. Let's stay in touch. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this conversation.
Thank you.
Sirisha, you are there. To add one more thing, that maybe we can do a monthly meet. I mean, this momentum can be continued. We can agree at every month, first Friday, of every month or something like that, and can agree at a common time. Maybe with all the maybe I can coordinate with you, and then we can announce to the team, everybody.
Great initiatives. Kudos to you, Srini, for bringing all of us. I mean, I have no words to say anything for you, because every aspect of life, I mean, the way you're trying to help, the kind of social activism that you're bringing in. Yeah, let's do that, Srini. We can connect and talk about it. I'm up for that.
About men today. It's all about women. Okay.
But still, I mean, I need to appreciate anybody who's supporting the women community. So
absolutely. I mean, we wouldn't have been here without you, right? Or Phil. So I think.
So what should we call you? Women supporters. There's a community called Women Supporters, which also needs to be celebrated, Srini.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you then. Thank you, ladies. Thank you once again, Srini.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sirisha. So I guess we have run out of time. Definitely, you have great thoughts, experience, point of views, and it's so vast that I cannot ask all the questions that I have. But definitely, it was a pleasure being with you in this session. And this session is really a great success because of your presence and your participation. Definitely, this is a great initiative, and also a great way of giving back to the community, hearing from your thoughts, as well as empowering and enforcing how powerful women are. Definitely. So we will wrap it up. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We'd like to acknowledge and appreciate your efforts and your energy that you have given to this session. And if anyone would you like to promote anything that you'd like to, please feel free to do so one at a time before we close the session.
Hey, before anybody speaks, I think I just shared my screen. So whoever is in Michigan, Detroit, USA, we own also one restaurant, called Vegorama. It's a vegetarian and vegan friendly. So this whole month we are offering free chai to all women. So that's what I'm sharing in the screen here. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, so all the best and keep safe as always.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jigna, for connecting me
you.
with the whole community,
Thank
Jigna.
you, Bhavisha. Thank you, everyone. Let's
Thank
make
you,
healthy
Jigna.
community. Bye. See you.
See you, Jigna.
Bye.
Wonderful.
Bye, Phil. Bye. Wonderful meeting you all.
Great job, Phil, Manu, and all team. Thank you.
Thank you, Srini.